So the first question about coronavirus was, can pets get coronavirus and can they transmit coronavirus? So the short answer is yes. They've done studies on cats and there has been 3 dogs that have tested positive. 1 cat tested positive in Belgium. It actually got quite sick and it was with a person that got infected with coronavirus. They've done a trial in China where they infected 5 cats with coronavirus, and those cats actually were able to transmit it to other cats. So we do know that cats can transmit coronavirus to other cats. Whether they can do it to humans, we don't know. Dogs, there's been no evidence of them transmitting to other dogs or to humans, but there are a few dogs that have tested positive. Overall, there's a very low risk of pets playing a large role in this pandemic. It's by far human-to-human transmission which is causing issues, but there is still a lot we're learning about this virus, and every day things are changing. I will say that, in my opinion, if somebody tests positive in a house and they have pets, and in that country there are ample tests available to test the cat or the dog in the house, then I think they should do that. And at a very minimum, they should at least isolate the cat or the dog from other animals within the house of the person that's been infected. So another question I have here is, can my dog socialize with other dogs? Now, to answer that, first I want to talk about the reason why you would not socialize your dog with other dogs when you're out walking. A reason not to would be, hypothetically, the dog is infected with coronavirus, and in order for that to happen, the person living in the house would have had to be infected with coronavirus and then give it to the dog. The risk of human to dog to human transmission at this stage has been shown to be very low. If you have your dog on lead and it has nose-to-nose socialization with another dog, I would say it's a very low risk of causing issues. However, I would say you do need to respect the community and you need to respect the people in the community. Many people are not going to be comfortable with your dog touching their dog during this time. So you just really need to be socially aware. Stay to the social distancing rules. Don't get close to the other dog owners. I would advise keeping your dog on lead. Second question, which is, why can I not touch dogs? Now, to understand this, you need to understand the principle of fomites. Our fomite is just a fancy word for an object which can hold bacteria or viruses on it. A dog can act as a fomite. So if somebody sneezes on their hands, pats their dog, and then you go and pat their dog, you could get the coronavirus on your hands. That would be the reason not to touch the dogs. Another reason to be careful with socialization between dogs is that if 2 dogs start play fighting and rolling around, one of the dogs may have been touched by a human that has coronavirus and they rub the virus onto the second dog, and then it becomes a means of transmission. It's very unlikely that the dogs themselves are walking around shedding or spreading coronavirus. It's more just somebody else might have patted the dog. It's also just a respectful thing to the person who owns the dog as well, to keep your space during this time. So if you've got a new dog during this time or right before the isolation period, you've got a new and young puppy, something important is separation anxiety. If your puppy is spending all of this time with you during this isolation, it's getting used to being around you 24/7, eventually you're going to be going back to work, I hope, and during this time it's going to be a transition for your puppy. So it's going to be going from you being around 24/7 to you being at work maybe 8-10 hours a day. So what I would recommend is you get your puppy used to spending some time away from you before this, leading up to it, and you gradually increase the amount of time you spend separated from the puppy, so it's not into this massive shock of being around you all the time and then suddenly feeling abandoned. Should you vaccinate your animal during this time? If you have a puppy and it's getting its first vaccinations, yes, you should go to your regular vets and you need to get those vaccinations. Those are very important vaccinations for your animal. If your community is allowing you to go to the vet for things like this, the 1-year-old vaccination, I also think this vaccination is very important and you should go and get that. If your animal is due for an annual booster or maybe a 3-year booster, I am comfortable to have people waiting a little bit longer just to get through this few weeks of isolation and then going to get that vaccination. In my opinion, that's not urgent enough to need to go out to the clinic and risk exposing yourself or your pet to coronavirus. I'll leave that up to you guys, and you can call your local vet and discuss it with them.